What is up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson here. We are back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. And that's what we're talking about today: is how to build a life of freedom in 2017. What are you going to do? What are some of the key things to keep in mind? What are the key questions that you can ask yourself? We're going to be taking questions from Facebook right here. So if you're watching this video, if you're watching us live, I should say, put your question or comment right below here on Facebook. We're going to we'll cover them on the show. If you are obviously watching this after the fact, I'm very sorry. You cannot participate in that, but keep an eye out for future live shows. But make sure to subscribe on YouTube and iTunes and Stitcher, depending on whether you want the video version or if you prefer the audio version, nestled right between your ears where we so belong.
So deep, yes.
That's right. Deep in between the ears. All right. So with that being said, since Greg has already interjected, I must officially be compelled to introduce him, my co-pilot, the junior grandmaster himself in the co-pilot seat. As always, Greg McDaniel, what is up?
What's up? Hey, dude, I am pumped. I'm here in the office. I made it all the way in. And check it out. Got my hairs did today. So I'm looking good, feeling good. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun. We were going to do something with Top Producer, but unfortunately, they couldn't make it today. So Matt and I have got some really amazing news, guys. And we're not bullshitting when we say that. We really do have amazing stuff we're going to share with you. Something that you guys have been asking for a long time, and we are finally going to announce it today. But a quick success story. I forgot to mention this on Monday's show, Matt. You and I talked about this, but I want to let everyone else know. On Friday, after the show, I went out to a CMA. On the CMA, I was sitting there and I'm like, how in the hell do I know these people? And they're like, well, you came really highly recommended. I'm like, oh, that's great. I'm like, finally, I find there's a nugget of knowledge. Maybe I know who referred me. Check it out, guys. My first client 18 years ago referred me his brother, and that's who I sat down with. 18-year-old referral, and it came through. So it was just such a blessing that, you stay up with your clients, you treat them right, you pay it forward to them, you treat them with quality and kindness and everything else. It does come back. It is unbelievable, man. It is unbelievable. And Murray, I am going to bring the fucking energy. Boom. Just going to make it rain.
Right. All right. Now we have to give a quick shout out here to Austin Kepley in Laverne, Tennessee. He posted in the lead gen scripts and objections group, says, thinking of Greg McDaniel and his door-to-door videos, I place all my logos out on each door, which I got a kick out of that. So awesome, Austin. Thanks for posting that. But more importantly, good luck out there door knocking. Keep at it and keep us posted on the results.
Yeah, and don't be afraid. Go live and do it. Do live door knocking. It's okay. Put us in your pocket. Just like I did, and go out and do it. It's not intimidating to have a couple of people in your pocket. Trust me, it's kind of fun. I feel like a gangster when I say that. I got people in my pocket. I bought. I don't know why I got a weird accent on that. Austin, what's up, man? How are you, brother? Good to see you.
Hey, yeah, guys, awesome, man.
Yeah,
very cool.
All right, Matt, let's kick this party off here. Do we want to do a question? Do we want to announce what we're going to announce? What do we want to do?
Let's cover a question first, then we'll announce what we're going to announce. So Malcolm Lawson said, I'm interested in trying circle prospecting and just calling houses and neighborhoods I want listings in. Are there any free methods for getting those numbers, or at least affordable methods? I looked into Cole, but it's $1,500 a year, and frankly, I want to at least try this method to see how well it works before committing $1,500 to it. So Greg,
so what does he want? He wants phone numbers or address?
Free methods for getting phone numbers, or more affordable methods than Cole.
Well, go to Mojo. It's $300 for the year. I mean, you're going to get very similar quality of data. There's always going to be data. There's only going to be wrong in the data. That's okay. We call it dirt in the data. And it just keep chugging through it. I mean, it's a numbers game. Keep going through it, and you'll contact enough good people that it won't really matter. But yeah, go to Mojo. But you can buy the dialer for $139 a month if you want to, or go and buy their circle prospecting, or I think it's called circle prospecting or whatever, circle mapping or whatever, for $25 a month. And you can outline and download as much content as you want, and you can save it in there, or you can export it out. That's where I get all my numbers when you guys see me do my calling. I don't really have a big problem with it. I really actually think it's some really good content. So that's where I would go get it. There is no free, okay? If you want free, I mean, go to the yellow pages, all right? And go, if they even have the yellow pages still. And you can do one by one there, but that makes absolutely zero sense when you have a system for $300, which is significantly cheaper than Cole. So I had coal too, and they were good, but this is just cheaper and equally as good in my book.
Okay.
So,
all right. Good.
Yeah,
All
that
right. So
one.
then let's get to the big announcement here.
Whoop,
So Greg, why don't you? I will handle the logistics part, the details. But Greg, I want you to talk about what this is that we are announcing and why.
Okay. Sure. Oh, you want me? I'm going first.
Yeah, of course. Well, there's no point in me doing the logistics or talking details until you tell people what the F it is you're doing.
Let's confuse the shit out of people. What do you say?
All right.
Okay, guys. So we are launching a product. It's called Rockstar Prospecting. And it is going to be a system where it's going to be a 4-week program. We're going to be covering everything high tech, high touch, deep detail on what you're going to be able to do to blend these different processes together, so that when you guys get out there and you start prospecting in 2017, you're going to be able to hit the ground running with the most current and recent knowledge. Every episode is recorded, so you can go back and reference it in the past. And I am in the middle of negotiating, and I'll tell you guys a little bit about it. With a company that will guarantee, when you sign up with this system, they will guarantee you, they will give you one free, not lead, they'll give you one free appointment. Okay, they will set up an appointment at no cost to you, and then we're negotiating a reduction in the monthly fee for that company, so that it's more affordable. We can do it in groups or whatever is going to be the most effective for you. But coming through this course, you get one guaranteed lead. Guaranteed appointment set for you for free. You get all the prospecting knowledge that we're going to deliver to you. Matt and I are just going to make it rain hellfire, and then you get to hang out with us, man. Come on, that's really the best part. Let's be honest here, Matt. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
let me clarify a couple of things on the whole deal with the free appointment, right? So that has nothing to do. You don't have to pay for the service. You don't have to sign up with them.
Right.
This is just for people that go through the course. You go through the 4-week live training course, and just for doing that, they are adding this as a value add to all the students that go through this course. They will take your database or your leads, and they will call through those people until they set one appointment for you. It has nothing. You don't have to sign up with them. You don't have to pay them anything. This is just for the students that come through the Rockstar Prospecting course. So here's how it's going to work. So every Monday starting January 9th at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, we're going to do an hour live training course for the next 4 Mondays. So it runs. There's 5 Mondays in January. So we start on the second Monday in January. We'll run every Monday throughout the rest of the month. Right? Same time, same day, the whole time. We're going to cover, number one, high tech, how online marketing makes every conversation easier. We're going to talk then high touch, everything from circle prospecting, door knocking, pop buys, and open houses. We'll get into events if we have time. If not, we've got a bonus video on that we can release to you for free. And then we're going to talk about specific packages of how to put the high tech and the high touch together into a package to get a certain result. So an example of that is geofarming, running a community video blog and a Facebook group for that community, and putting those things together to generate leads and clients out of a specific neighborhood that you want to work, right? And then we come to session 4 is the Insanity Prospecting Challenge, which is actually implementing the stuff, including a 60-day zero money way to get started and prospecting to attract more clients. So all that stuff, all the details on the course is at rockstarprospecting.com. You can sign up directly through there. If and when you do sign up, give it a second, check your email. Once you go through and pay, just check your email, and then there's usually a link that you can click that takes you to this page, and then you just click here to access, and they'll take you to the thank you page with the details. We'll follow up with an email that shows you all the details on the class and stuff like that, so you don't have to keep that page open. And then we will kind of keep in touch with you over the coming weeks as we get closer to the actual day of the class. But essentially, you hop onto a Zoom video call with us and Greg, and you got full video and audio. You can talk, you can ask questions, people can see you, we can interact with you live. This is not just a sit back and watch thing. This is a participation thing.
Big time. I put the link in the notes down below this on my Facebook page, guys, so it is there. Go take a look at it. Click on it if you want. If not, completely ignore it. Either way, we still love you.
That's right. Exactly. And we're still going to keep delivering value to you for free here. So what we're going to talk about today, and we'll mention this again at the end of the show, we'll talk about the Rockstar Prospecting, but it's super easy, rockstarprospecting.com, all the details are there. But how do you get set for the new year, right? So we're going to talk about some of the key things to think about, some of the key questions that both me and Greg have been asking ourselves, and we're just going to pull it back. And we've both got big plans for next year. We've both got multiple things that we're involved in. We all do. So we want to share we want to peel back the curtain really on what's going through our minds, how we're doing our business planning, how we're looking at the opportunities, how we're looking at lead generation for our businesses, and hopefully give you guys some things that you can take away and questions that you can ask to help you guys come up with the best plan for how to dominate 2017. How's that sound?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Actually, if you guys are seeing this, when I was laying in bed yesterday, I was starting to write down some things that I want to achieve or get in 2017. I'm not going through it willy-nilly. I'm really going through it with a concerted mindset. Like I really want to achieve certain things. I'm going to have to work myself backwards. What are my things that I'm putting into my business? So it's actually really exciting. I've been listening to Jack Canfield's Principles of Success, a phenomenal book. It just reminded me about a lot of things that I really need to be doing. I got complacent and I had stopped doing certain things, like reviewing my goals, rewriting. Good Lord, if I can talk, rewriting my dreams and goals, and then putting myself on a schedule every day to review it 1 to 2 times and go back to my dream board and put positive energy into my future cars, boats, houses, whatever, financial achievements, health, whatever it is, right? Reaffirm it on a consistent basis. Guys, I've been doing it for 2 days. I can tell you right now, without a doubt, it has been one of the most impactful things that I have done so far. It has brought a lot of fun back in to the whole thing of writing my goals down and dreams down and really going back and looking at them, getting excited about my future. So I really ask you guys to really go back and take a look at what your dreams and goals are. Write them down. Jeff Latham has been on our show twice. He's out of Jeff's out of the Pacific Northwest, right?
Yeah, Washington.
And guys, this dude is ridiculously driven, and he's inspired me to do it. He has an alarm on his phone that goes off every hour on the hour for him to review his goals for 10 minutes. So, I mean, dude, it blew me away when he told me that. And so his goals went from a time frame of like this to like that, because his subconscious mind started interpreting these as, this is my new reality. I like this. Okay, now it'll open up an opportunity for these things to start coming to him. And so this coming year, I'm going to be doing that myself. I want to have certain things in my life, and I want them done sooner than later. And I'm going to start with the goals and the dreams. So go to Pinterest, get a dream board. I'm not trying to be all woo-woo and incense and crystals and shit, but really get in touch with your inner energy. What are you thinking about the most? Because whatever you're thinking about the most is going to come to you. So if you're thinking you're fat, you're lazy, you don't know what you're doing, people hate you, well, guess what? That's what you're going to fucking get. But if you think I'm beautiful, it's amazing, it's incredible, I am smart enough, I can do this, I will achieve this, so on and so forth, the progression, internally, you're going to feel a lot better. Then when you go work with your clients, they're going to see that you have a better positive energy, and they're going to pick up on it and want to be around that. People that are miserable want to hang out with miserable people. People that are happy want to hang out with happy people or successful people. The sum total, you're going to be the sum total of the 5 people you hang out with the most. You guys have all heard this about 1 million times. What are those people? What do they look like? And what's going to happen? Yes, Mila, exactly. NLP, exactly. But, start re-looking at your life. If there's something you don't like or something you do want, write it down, review it, and be honest with yourself. That's the biggest way to start 2017 off in a positive, in a good way, because if you're a ship without a rudder or a captain and you just put the thing in four-wheel, in drive, you're going to run into shit. You might get somewhere where you're going, but you're probably going to end up on the rocks and sinking because you didn't have a direction. You didn't have someone or something helping you go a specific way. So get a coach, get a mentor, get a role play partner, get someone that you can bounce ideas off, not your spouse. That shit's already stressful enough. And go and start building your future by leveraging the people that are around you. So I know I'm very passionate about it. I mean, that's because I am very, very passionate about it. I think that is the most important thing someone can do. Matt, I saw you rustling around back there. I'm assuming you went and got your notes.
I did, yeah. Yeah. Well, sort of. So I want to talk about clarity for a little bit. So this is kind of what I was writing out the other day, because so where I'm at is I spent this last year probably saying yes a little bit too much, which we all go through those phases, right? You have those phases where you're in growth mode and you kind of say yes to almost every opportunity. Mm-hmm. So I said yes a lot, and there's been some great things that came of it. However, that you end up over committing a little bit, over just essentially spreading yourself too thin, right? With your schedule, with your calendar, more importantly, with your mental focus. So, Greg, what you're talking about is really finding what you can focus on, that dream board, that vision that inspires you to think about it a lot. And this is the part that I want to add, is the massive action, right? And that takes energy. So, and I think there's a lot of people that, because the nature of real estate, there's so many different ways to generate business, that we have a problem where there's so many shiny objects, but we don't look at them that way. We look at them as options, and we feel guilty because we feel like we should be doing 15 different things to grow our business, when in reality we really only usually need like 2 to 3 things. So somebody put up a post here in the lead gen scripts and objections group that asked, what are your 4 main pillars of lead generation, your 4 lead sources for closed transactions? The reality is, most of us, and especially most real estate agents, you don't even need 4. You need 1 to 2. And this is the point that Greg Harrelson was making here just a few days ago on another podcast, is that figure out what that one thing is for you, and then you just optimize until you hit the point of diminishing returns. Then you look at adding in another pillar of lead generation. So hopefully we'll set some people free today that you don't have to do everything. Greg, you are that guy that you want to do everything, but you don't have that thing where you feel guilty for not doing everything. You are better at that. I will give you that.
Yeah, because I like to delegate all my tasks onto you.
Well, partially. Yes,
but I'm really. I mean, that is very true. I don't feel bad about not doing anything. Everything. I mean, I'm Twitter retarded. Everyone's like, oh, Twitter, tweet this, tweet that. Go tweet yourself. Okay. Go tweet off, Matt. Oh, my mind, she's gone. But I mean, I don't do it. I know I need to. So for me, and this coming year, like Matt was talking about, looking where your business is coming from. And my team sits down every year and we review this. We get a lot of deals from my cold calls. And I have, Philip over at Talent Prospecting. He's gonna be doing a lot of the calls for me, but I'm still gonna be doing the calls with you guys. We get it from that, referrals, and Chris is biking. My business partner is a cyclist. He's a racer and the whole nine. We get a lot of business from that. And then Terry just, being the T Diddy and just knowing everybody under the sun. But we don't try to go off and try to reinvent the wheel in any way, shape, or form. Open houses, which is belly to belly, which builds referrals, calls, and then Chris doing, being himself out biking. Yeah, we don't try to go
essentially. Yeah, I mean, essentially it's open house, Sphere, and your circle prospecting. So you guys collectively, between the 3 of you, only have 3 pillars of your lead generation. Everything else is just gravy.
Yeah, everything is just gravy. But we put there's a lot of different parts of each one of those funnels. So for me, I'm adding in a lot of social media. I'm going to do a lot of video this coming year, but that's going to be live. Then I'm going to download it. Then I'm going to upload it to our team's YouTube. Then I'm going to take that link and I'm going to bring it back to our website. Christ, that's a lot of work. But if it's live information. Huh?
I said it better not be you doing it. It better be someone in the Philippines for $5 an hour doing that.
We'll figure it out. I'm not too worried about it. But just that action is going to take place. And I'm going to go to Realty Times, and I'm going to be doing videos about real estate or how to get your home ready. I'm also going to be doing interviews with local restaurant owners, business owners, people. Like I saw an interview with the chief of police that was done by a really boring dude the other day. And I'm like, I can do a better job with the chief of police. Okay. So people like that, just be that resource. And if you want to figure out who is someone that you can go watch and see what other people are doing, just go to YouTube and type in your home city, your hometown, where you're from. If it's Jacksonville, Florida, if it's Danville, California, if it's San Diego, California, if it's, Tupelo, Mississippi, it doesn't matter. Go see what videos are being done and then go do different or similar videos and then stay consistent upon doing that. But I'm just going to bring a lot of value.
And this brings me to a key question that I wanted to share with everybody that I've been asking myself, because it leads into this. It continues on that same theme of like, what are your pillars, right, for lead generation? So my question that I've been asking myself is, what is the engine of my business versus what are the things that are around the engine that are just profit maximizers, right? So if you think of that, if you think of McDonald's, you've got the hamburger. That's what brings home the bacon. That's what gets people's butts in the seats, right? But what they figured out is that if we offer fries and a drink, we actually don't have to make a profit on the hamburger. In fact, we maybe even could lose a little bit of money on the hamburger, because where we're making the money is the profit maximizers. So I want to point out that What you want is you want an engine of your business that just brings in, like, that's where you put the majority of your lead generation time. That's what brings in the majority of your clients, and it just works. It's relentlessly, consistently boring because it just works over and over and over and over and over again. And it brings in a run-of-the-mill typical client that you can just get in and get out the door, give them a great level of service, and move on. Then around that, you have your profit maximizers, which might be the other types of maybe non-ideal clients that just kind of fall into your lap through your prospecting efforts, or it might be another pillar of your lead generation. So maybe it's a Real Geeks website. Maybe it's business networking. Maybe it's luxury clients that you meet through personal networking and referral generation and things like that. Whatever that is for you, you always want two things. You want to know exactly what the core is. What is that? What is the inner circle of your business that is the predictable, just in and out the door over and over and over again part of your business, versus what are the things around that are just gravy? And so that's what I've been asking myself a lot and making sure that I know exactly what that is. And that's one of the things that I finally broke through over the last 2 weeks and hit on it, exactly what I'm going to do to refine that down. That way it's crystal clear in my mind, because when stuff is crystal clear to yourself, to your own mind, it releases energy to pursue. It releases energy to get out there and pitch. It releases energy to chase down that next client, because there's no hesitation when you get that person to turn around. They say, yeah, well, why should I hire you? There's no hesitation. You know exactly what to say.
So let's dive into that a little bit for agents that may be asking, what are my what are my core business? Where does my business really come from? So from what the agents you've worked with, Matt, what have you seen other agents say, okay, this is where my core is? Because a lot of the times, guys, it comes from multiple different sources. It doesn't just come from one or two sources. It can come from a lot of different places. Like our guests, the other day, John and Brandon. I mean, their core business was to put ads out on Facebook and never meet a client, have a agreement signed with them, and then refer them over to a new business, a new home builder. So, what is your core, Matt? What would you say the top three? I'll give my opinion. You give your opinion. We'll reverse it. You give your opinion first. What you've seen that agents do that have generated the most business for their team or themselves, in a year? What are those different funnels?
Look, everybody's different. Here are the three buckets, and you can listen to the Team Building podcast with Jeff Cohn where he elaborates on this. The three buckets are your personal sphere, internet lead gen, and prospecting. And those can take a little bit of different forms, but those are the three basics, right? So the most successful agents or teams are the people that have one of those three buckets firing on all cylinders. They have optimized it to the nth degree. They know exactly where their clients are coming from. They know exactly who those ideal clients are. They know exactly how they're going to go out there and get them. Then the other buckets, whatever that happens to be, they put some time and energy, but it's never their main thing, if that makes sense. So for Jeff's team, for example, for Jeff himself, it is the personal sphere and the high dollar listings that he goes out on a listing appointment and then turns them over to somebody else to actually work the listing, right? So he makes, $1,000 an hour, essentially, maybe even $3,000-4,000 an hour, because all he's doing is going on the listing appointment and then somebody else is doing the back end work. Very, 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 very leveraged. It's all personal sphere. Then you get down to his agents that are making, $50 to $100,000 a year in the Midwest, which is a great living. They can support a family on that in the Midwest as a buyer's agent, even on a 50-50 split. Well, what's their main bucket? Their main bucket is working the online buyer leads that they generate through their Boomtown site. And then the sphere for them is just kind of the stuff that happens around the edges, right? Their main thing is following up with internet leads. So those are kind of the two different, even within the same team, you can have wildly different models of how to be successful. That's what we both love about real estate. It's the wild, wild west. There's so many ways to grow a business, but one of the ways that you can't grow a business is by trying to do 15 things at the same time. So yes, they can have different sources, but where your focus and your attention should be is figuring out what is the one thing that generates 80% of the business, where I can put my time and attention and energy into that I know is going to give me the results that I want, and then add in 1 to 2 other things that you do. Instead of saying, well, my business comes from all over the place, I'm just going to keep doing 15 things.
Yeah, work your strengths, guys. Don't try to make your weaknesses stronger. Expand on your strengths. That's the part that a lot of people say, well, I'm not good on the doors. I'm just going to keep trying the doors, but I'm really good at networking. Well, then go do networking. I mean, whatever you're really naturally good at, go for it, because people are going to see that and they're going to want to be around that. And then they're going to intentionally or innately think that you're going to be good at real estate. Even if you aren't yet, they're going to think it because they have a good connection with you. I mean, Matt and I do a lot on video, as you guys all well know. So I'm going to double down on video and education, which I think there's a huge need for the consumers to be educated about both the real estate process as well as the real estate business as a whole, the nuts and bolts at a 10,000 foot level, not down in the weeds like you're going through a deal, but help people understand the process so it's not big, scary, and ugly. And then when they go through it, they're not frightened or intimidated and they lash out of fear. Also, what we're going to do is I'm also going to be doubling down on personal relationships. I'm going to get out of this seat and go get my ass out in the street. I mean, I spend a lot of time here, guys, and I admit it, guys. I have traditionally thought for a long period of time that I need to be in this seat to generate deals. Now that I have Philip and Talon Prospecting doing a lot of the calls, and they're going to set he's going to guarantee me a minimum of 10 appointments a week, 40 appointments a month. If I suck and I can only close one, I mean, epically, horribly, completely on new levels of suck, then it's going to be wildly successful for our team. Now it allows me to get out and go do the videos and be out in the public and go have, coffee and go have conversations with people. I have a huge list of stuff I'm going to go do. And my team's going to want me out of the office anyways. But those are the two things I'm doubling down on. Is going to be more interpersonal communication. Don't shake your head like that.
I was merely agreeing with your very excellent point that your team would want you out of the office. That's what the problem is.
So me being out of the office, I mean, Chris never comes into the office. Terry never really comes into the office. They work out of their homes or Chris is out biking or anything else. But guys, this thing, phones, they're not going to ring if you just sit here. You got to go out and go press the flesh and go meet some new people. So if you're afraid of doing that, go with a girlfriend or a guy friend, go to an event, go to meetups, go do an activity that you love. If you like to go running on the beach, right? Go get a group of people that like to go running on the beach and go hang out with them. Don't pitch them, just go be a part of them. And if you like to bike, sew, crochet, snowboard, surf, whatever the event is, just get out and start doing it. And if it's a middle of the day, if you've always wanted to take that yoga class at 12 noon, great. Guess who goes to yoga classes at noon? People that don't have to work in a cubicle. They're the type of people might want to get to know. So that's where I'm doubling down.
There's a tier. There's a tier there.
Well, if you're hanging out in the get-low, yeah, you're not going to want to hang out. They're not people that they just are strictly unemployed.
They're not paying for Bikram yoga classes either. All right.
No,
so this leads to another question that I've been asking myself, which is, what is the highest, most valuable, most leveraged use of my time? And I've been thinking a lot about that, right? So what are the things? So if you want to make more money, what it really comes down to is you have to spend, you can't, this is the problem, is we don't have any more time in the day. So I hear agents do this a lot. They're selling 10 homes a year. They want to double that. So next year I want to sell 20 homes a year. So I'll ask them, okay, well, what's the plan? How are you going to get there? Well, I'm just going to make more calls.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how many more calls? Because if you want to double the number of homes that you're selling, either you have to double your lead conversion percentage, which means your skills have to improve, or you just have to attack it with brute force and you just literally have to call twice as many people. Are you willing to call, and do you have the time to call twice as many people? And if you do call twice as many people and you get twice as many clients, what happens to the operations side and to your client service? Does your client service fall apart because all of a sudden you have double the clients? And at that point, I didn't get halfway into that sentence before I've already lost them. Because they haven't thought about, well, what happens if I actually double up the number of calls I make and I actually do twice as many deals as I did last year? How is that going to affect me? Most likely it's going to break two things. Number one, you're going to stop prospecting. And then you get on the roller coaster of feast and famine. The number two thing is, if you keep on just right on through and you keep on prospecting, the next thing that breaks is the operations side, and people start getting bad service from you, and then that leads to bad things, right? Mm-hmm. So you really have to think about, okay, well, I have the same 8 hours in a day. How am I going to spend them? You have to start moving yourself up the ladder and saying, okay, here's the stuff that actually brings in the business. This is what I am highest paid to do. And I need to do more of that and less of other things that don't make me money. The unfortunate part for most real estate agents is sometimes the things that don't make them as much money are the things that they genuinely enjoy doing.
Yeah, I
For
mean, like
example,
sitting at around the coffee maker and jabbering with your fellow coworkers.
all that. I mean, yeah, but that's an easy one to attack. What a harder
Well,
one to attack
depends.
is the client service. Right. So unfortunately, you setting up an appointment for termite inspection is not the highest and best and most leveraged use of your time, but it is a lot easier than calling a lead. It's a lot easier than calling someone in your database, and getting in the car and going to show an actual buyer a home is a lot more enjoyable than prospecting. But it's still not the most valuable use of your
You
time.
know,
So when you look at it and you go, okay, I want to make more money, do you really?
yeah, of course they do, but they have to have
Do
the
they
system
really
set
though?
up.
But
Yes.
when you count the cost, at some point, you have to be able to say to yourself, do I want to make more money to the point where I'm willing to sacrifice some of the things that I enjoy doing in real estate for some things where it's higher value use of my time in order to get what I say that I want, which is a higher income.
Well, that's not how most people think about it. You're super analytical, so stop scaring people. But I mean,
Why is that scaring people? This is reality. This is life. This is how it
no,
works. If you want to
because
make
I
more
mean,
money, you got to do
you can
more things that pay
achieve,
higher money.
right? You can achieve your goals, but people are going to have to make that that comes back down to goals. I want to reach this. Once this is in process of being achieved, you'll make a decision if you want to continue this action or these actions. If it's negatively impacting your children's relationships, your spouse's relationships, anything else, then it might not be worth it to work the 90-hour weeks or whatever it's going to be. But then you learn how to go out and time hack. And someone on the Facebook group who said it, Manny said, hire a TC. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, our TCs here in the office, we cost about $375 a deal, and they're worth every single penny. I mean, it doesn't get any better than having a TC. And you guys don't know that there's a transaction coordinator. They handle all your paperwork. They get all this stuff signed. They do all the busy work. I mean, you're still going to need to do some of it, but you won't have to do all of it with a TC. We have been using TC since they were even a thing. We used a third-party contractor back in the day, 18 years ago. And, you should learn how to run your files, guys, let's be honest, but that's not where your money gets made. So evaluate your goals and your dreams, and, come up with a game plan, and then, make adjustments throughout the year. If it's negatively impacting parts of your life, you don't have to continue on that plan. You can change your plan. That's okay to change your plan. I mean, it's life. I mean, if your husband or wife says, look, if you keep working these hours, we're going to separate. Well, fuck that. Okay, let's dial it back, get more family time. You know what? You were fine with the income before. Just take priorities and go from there. That's all I'd say.
Speaking of a TC, and that's kind of the track that I was on too, because the next question I was asking myself is, what would I cut out if I could? And for Manny, that was the transaction coordination. Great, perfect, that's awesome. For you, Greg, what you'd like to cut out is some of the circle prospecting and having somebody else calling through your leads and through your database to generate appointments. Great, that's another leveraged use of your time. So those are some of the things that you can think about in creative ways. Just sit down and make a list of all the things that A, you don't want to do, or B, don't make you money, or both. And look for ways to cut those out, because there is a way. Usually that way involves you focusing on things that bring in more money. That way you can afford to pay somebody to do the things that you don't want to do. It's as simple as that. And the only question is, how much of a gap in time there is it between you doing more stuff that generates more deals versus when the money comes in so that you can pay for the person that freed you up to have more time to do that. That's the only thing to take into consideration, is that time gap because of the commissions coming in, later. So, and then that's something that we all go through as business owners, is when we're expanding, whether it's by hiring people or by leveraging with, technology, like Greg, you mentioned Mojo. Some people look at that as expensive. $300 a year is a major investment. Some people laugh at that and go, that's what I pay every month for Infusionsoft. That's chump change. We're all in different phases of the business, but we all go through the same thing, which is we see something that we want. Usually that involves leveraging ourselves in some way, whether it's through technology or people. You have to make an investment of money to get that. And then there's a gap in time between when that pays off and the money comes in that repays you for the investment that you made.
Yeah, I mean, for Mojo for a year, for the 139 plus the 300 for the data, it's just under $2,000, $1,968 total for an entire year. A large amount of the country. I mean, the average commission is about $6,000. So, I mean, if you can justify one deal off of it, yeah, it's cliche, but it's the fact of the matter. It's dollars and cents. You're going to make a 3 times return off of your investment with a $6,000 commission. So, I mean, if that's your strength. If not, take the time and go hit the doors and spend some time out there, or go network and go have lunches. I mean, that great book called Never Eat Alone. I mean, go out and continually ask people for coffees, lunches, dinners, drinks, whatever it is. Because if you're going to be eating, might as well do it with somebody else, right? You can write all that money off as an expense for your business. I mean, the list just never stops, guys. But I mean, it's like Matt was saying, you have to use your best leverage time. Where are you going to be able to make the most money for the amount of time that you're spending? Look, Oprah Winfrey, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, God bless his soul, all of the exact same 24 hours in a day that you do. They just leveraged their time more effectively, and they had goals, written down, and they were reviewed on a consistent basis. That's what makes successful people successful, because they know where they're going. They're not going to stop until they get there. That's why I keep going back and saying, please, for the love of God, guys, go write your dreams and goals down. Be ultra specific about it. I mean, and really, really hone in on it. I mean, get Jack Canfield's book, The Success Principles. He talks about it in there. Go get the Follow Your Passion, Find Your Power book that will talk about it in there. Napoleon Hill talks about goals and dreams and writing things down on a consistent basis. The reason why I hone in on this is because of this. Thinking about stuff up here in your brain, this is a very dirty, clustered place. This is where you are the schoolyard bully, and you're constantly beating upon yourself and telling yourself you can't do it, or it's not hard, it's not easy enough, or you can't achieve it, or can't afford it, whatever. There's something that changes when it becomes a tangible aspect of your new life. When you write it down, there's clarity, and there's something you can go back and refer to, so that when you do tell yourself, well, I can't do it, or it's not affordable, whatever it is, or she'll never go out with me, or he'll never date me, or whatever that is, write it down, be specific on what you want, and be very specific on what you want, and then consistently put positive energy and just thoughts like I'm enjoying this future me, right, in a present tense, not in a future tense or a past tense, right, in a present tense, as if it was taking place right now. And then go out, guys, and be an avid consumer of knowledge. Learn something new every single day. Watch our podcast every single day. Go watch some other great podcasts out there. Go read a book. Go to at least 1 to 4 seminars where you can network and group and get ideas from around other smart people. Because if you continue your education, you soon will be one of the smartest people in the room. There's a study done, I think, by Stanford a number of years ago, that if you were to take and listen to an audiobook or podcast or whatever it is now on a certain subject for 12 months on your 25-minute commute to work and your 25-minute commute from work, you will have the equivalent of a PhD in that subject matter in 12 months, just by using that time to and from work. But we're real estate agents, guys. We're in the cars a lot. So you might be able to speed that up and move on to the next subject matter. So pick a subject and learn on it and become the best there is. I mean, I do it every day. If you see these if you're in my area, otherwise these are in because I'm talking to you guys, I have a podcast or I have a book playing. Because, I mean, walking to and from Trader Joe's, I'm listening to books or podcasts. I mean, time hack. If you have kids, and you're like, oh, my God, I don't have any time to do any of this kind of educational crap, Greg. What are you talking about? Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Mm-hmm. You always can be listening to something. There's always 5 minutes here, 2 minutes there. They're taking a nap. They're playing on the jungle gyms. Fucking listen to something. All right? Get smarter. That's how people grow. The average human, average American reads, they attempt to read 1 book a year, and this is the really scary part is they get about a third of the way through it and they stop. And usually it's a romance novel or some non-fictional book. It's not an educational thing. It's like 50 Shades of Grey or some bullshit. But I mean, how sad is that? No wonder our country has been dumbified, because we get told it's okay when we get coddled and we watch. I've been sick prior to this podcast for about 3 weeks. I've been watching the Today Show a lot. There's some dumb topics that get shoved down our throats as consumers. So get smarter and go out and find an educational source that works for you. And we're proud and honored that you guys use us and leverage us as one of those resources. And we are definitely not going to stop ever. I mean, we're just too passionate about this stuff. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. Next question? What questions are you asking? I mean, here's what I want to know, Greg. Because you have 1,000 different ideas. You have all these. You're going to double down on everything. You're like, I'm doubling down on this. I'm doubling down on that. And we're going to double the transactions. We're going to double this and double that. What is the number one focus for you and just in your real estate business this year? Setting aside the podcast, setting aside the training stuff, just in your real estate business, what is the main thing that you're going to do that's going to bring in more business this year than it did last year?
Make more calls. We're gonna be doubling down. Philip and his team are gonna be doing calls for us. I'm gonna be doing calls. Midori's gonna be doing calls, and Eileen's gonna be doing calls. We've already, sectioned out the part of the valleys where everyone's gonna be calling. Midori and I are gonna be calling from Danville north. Eileen's gonna call from Danville south. So Midori and I have about 100 and change thousand people, and Eileen has about 50,000 that she can call through. And then Philip with his folks, he's going to be dialing around the same people. The reason why that's so powerful is they're going to hear my voice, Midori's voice, Phil's voice. 3 different voices makes our team feel, appear much larger. And they're going to get along with one of us maybe, and then we're going to be able to set them up. So that's our one thing that we're really going to put a lot of effort in, because we found that came from where a lot of our deals have come from this year and in the past. And I mean, honestly, guys, be careful of what you wish for. I mean, my desk is an absolute disaster. I'm going to show you part of them. But, I mean, these are all leads from calls. All leads, and
people who've expressed interest or a need at some point that they will be selling.
Yeah, they're somewhere in the funnel of moving through the process. Interested, okay. They want to talk next year. We've done a CMA, blah blah blah, the whole series, and okay. They're overwhelming. So be careful. And this is what comes back to the systems. Okay, be careful what you wish for, like Matt was saying, because you just might get it. And I've laughed at myself several times because there are several things that I've wanted in life, and then I got them, and I'm like, oh shit, now what?
Like running and just like chasing down a cheetah.
If you can chase a cheetah,
you feel good for about one. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm just saying a Land Rover, but you you chase it down, you get it by the tail, and then you have about 1 second of triumph, and you're like, oh crap, now what do I do?
Yeah, before it turns on you and bites you in the ass. That's but right. I mean, also, then that brings up another point when it comes to your goals, guys. When you achieve your goals, set 30, 60, 90, and 1 year goals. So 30 days, 60 days, 90-day goals, and then jump it to a full year goal. The reason why you want the short attainable goals, those things that you can reward yourself on. Let's say you'll take your special somebody out to a nice dinner if you do an hour and a half of calls every day and you close 3 deals in that month. Well, if you do that, then you take your wife out and you guys have a great time, and it's like she loves it. It's romantic. It's a nice thing, rekindling the fire there because you've been spending so much time at work. The 60 days, doubling it. 90 days, I love, Matt, we've talked about 90-day goals, quarter goals.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the rolling quarterly one page. Yeah. And so I have my I have my things that I do. That I do on a daily or weekly basis that will get me to that. But yeah, I set goals in 90-day and 1 year increments.
Yeah, because then
I don't do the 30, 60, 90. That's too overwhelming, even for me. And I'm super organized. 30, 60, and 90 is too overwhelming. It's just 90 in a year, and then I have my daily activities that get me to my 90-day goals.
See, I need my 30-day goals because that's me holding myself accountable, because I've worked my goals backwards down the funnel from the year or from the 90 days. And if I've met my daily goals for a month, that means I'm on track, and I reward myself for being on track for the 90 and then the 1 year goals. So that's why I do that. You can cut out the 60. That's fine. You can cut out the 60.
Yeah. I like the short term, either week or a month.
Also reward yourselves in small things, guys. Like all my shirts are custom shirts. Every deal that we close, I buy myself another shirt. It costs $160 for the shirts that I buy. And that way I can feel that I look good. I have something that when I get that deal done, I'm like, a little something for me. Because you need that little attaboy pat on the back to keep you going. Don't just, one of these days I'll buy that Ferrari. Dude, you're not going to really want the Ferrari if you're so beat to shit, okay? I mean, and you're afraid and frazzled and your wife hates you. The Ferrari's not going to be worth it.
Yeah, there was something that Frank from Viral said to me. It was almost a couple of years ago now. He said the one thing, like with the business owners that are solopreneurs, agents are like this. Like we don't have a boss, which is great because we don't have somebody kicking our butt all the time. But we also don't have someone to pat us on the back when we're doing well. There's a sense of loneliness. There's a sense of kind of being out here on an island, and we kick ourselves. Like we're naturally hard on ourselves, right? A lot of us are type A personalities. We're very perfectionistic, or we're at least very driven to achieve our goals. We're not quite there yet, and even once we get there, it's just on to the next one, right? So it's important to feel the pain of not hitting your goals yet. But when you do hit those milestones along the way, it's really important to celebrate them. And this is something that I need to get better at too, because I'm exactly that way. I'm just like, all right, great, on to the next. I don't feel the pleasure of hitting those milestones. And so I like that, like doing something to reward yourself, whether it's you buy yourself something small, go do something, go take your significant other out for like a weekend getaway, whatever the case is, like tie some sort of reward to hitting those milestones so that you feel the pleasure of hitting it on the way to hitting the big goal. Because most of the time, once you hit the big goal, you might get this big adrenaline rush of satisfaction, but that ends pretty quickly. And then human nature is, all right, well, now it's time to set the next goal.
Yeah, and so here's another thing, guys. I just posted a link in the chat. I just said books. Derek Shivers is a guy. He's read all of these amazing books, and then did a little excerpt on them. So you can basically get our cliff notes on amazing books. So I was joking around the other day. I'm like, I can read a book a day. I scrolled down. I'm like, maybe a book every 2 days. But it's a way that you can. Again, here's another time hack for education. Go read, guys. Go read as much as you can. And I mean, you'll amaze yourself by how smart you get very quickly and how you can apply it back into your business, even if it's not a real estate book. And go out into different industries, guys. I mean, really go into different industries and have nothing to do with real estate. Go to their conventions, right? Go to read more about what they're doing, because maybe something that they're doing you can apply into real estate. Like I was listening to Social Media Examiner's podcast today with Michael Stelzner, and there's a chocolatier out of New Zealand, or no, Australia, on the Gold Coast of Australia. And he talked about how he's taken Snapchat and Instagram and he's gamified it, and he's created characters and then makes it fun for people to watch him. And people fly in from around the world when they fly into Sydney, and they will they'll fly in and they will come to his chocolate shop after going and seeing the some of the major attractions, because he's put himself out there. He's made it fun. He's made it interesting. So that's all I'm saying, guys. Just go out there and I'm going to take some of the stuff that he was talking about today, and I'm going to put it into my Snapchat, into my Instagram, into some other stuff I might be doing. I mean, I'm not very good at it right now, but that's one of the things I want to work on this year, because I really enjoy social media. Mm-hmm. But I mean, at no point, guys, never think that Matt and I are like heads and shoulders above you. We're just a smidgen ahead of you, and we got a platform to talk about it, and we love talking to you guys about it, because I'm still actively in the business. And so any suggestions you guys have for me, hey, let's talk. I'll trade ideas. I'll horse trade with you all day about ideas. Mm-hmm. But then again,
that's what's interesting about like talking to people that are higher and higher up the rung, so to speak, in business, is you realize that they all have the same things. They all have the same struggles. They may be thinking of hiring a $35,000 a year employee rather than, well, do I hire someone for a couple $100 a week to help me out with something, right? So the scale might get a little bit bigger, but I think what it feels like to be an ultra successful person, I think most of us would be surprised to feel like they feel exactly like what we feel.
Yeah, of course.
Like it's just normal for them. They're trying to hit their goals. They don't have enough resources to get it done. They feel stretched and pulled in a bunch of different directions. Like I think the feelings are the same. I think when I was younger, I don't know if you felt this, Greg, but I felt like there was a time when you break through and you don't feel like that. Like things should be firing on all cylinders, and eventually you'd break through to a point where almost everything in your life was like kind of firing on all cylinders. And sadly, that is not the way it is. There's always going to be, you have different trends going on in every area of your life, and some things are going up, some things are going down, and some things are flatlining, and you have to be okay with that and focus on the things that you can control.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't get upset about if the market crashes. If the market crashes, you should be reading trend reports and watching what's taking place in the industry, and you should be getting ahead of it and proactively planning what is that, where's that, how can you hack if the market takes a crap on you? Where's that next vein of business? Or start saving so you don't go face down when the market takes a dump. Or what if the market goes straight up? What can you do? How can you leverage? Can you do buyer seminars? Seller seminars? What is out there that you can get ahead of? So don't be a victim, be a victor of the business. Now I was a complete victim of the business. Obviously, it was a long time ago when the market took a crash in 2008. I was too damn young and dumb, man. I didn't know any of this stuff back then. I would have gotten ahead of the curve. And there's a couple of ideas I had later, which I'm like, damn it, those people are really smart. It was so simple. So be a student of your business, guys. Be a student of your business. That's all I can say. And never stop pushing, never stop grinding, never give up ever. Never take a day off. Well, take days off, don't get me wrong, but don't take a day off if it's in the middle of the week. Go take a Saturday off, guys, or take a Sunday off. How do you want to work? Do you even want to work on the weekends? I fucking don't. That's why I don't. As much as humanly possible, there are exceptions, don't get me wrong. But the majority of the time I tell my clients I don't work on Sundays. And they're like, and I've never lost a buyer when I did that, because I told them how I run the business, and it's my business. So it was really easy to own that. So figure that out. Again, this is the other part I want to talk about, Matt, really quickly. I know we're running out of time here. Yeah. Is that I want you guys to go out and write a life plan. You've heard me talk about this before. Write a life plan. Now, what is a life plan? A life plan is what you write down. How much time do you want to spend with your family? How much do you want to spend time working? Where do you want to work? With who do you want to work? What do you want to wear to work? All those, how many days do you want to work? Write all those down. Because if you want to wear flip-flops and you live at the beach and you want to do your prospecting as you sit with your laptop on the beach and don't go anywhere near clients for 4 out of the 7 days, okay, great. That's your business plan. It's going to directly have an effect on your income, but that's okay. That's how you want to live. Now flip it over. Now you apply your business plan to your life plan, and you will be the happiest person known to mankind, because you will be fulfilled in what you do, and the people around you will be happy, your spouse and your kids and your significant other and family, whoever else. So keep that in mind, guys. Definitely build a life plan and see how that works for you this year. I know I'm building it. I'm writing down exactly what I want to wear, who I want to work with, how I want to work, the whole 9 yards. And guess what? My business plan plugs in just perfectly. Okay, let's round this thing out. Want to go over Rockstar Prospecting?
Yes.
Okay. 4-week course, guys. I will put the link back into the show here. It's our product that we are launching after a long time. A lot of people have approached me about coaching. I just don't have the time for one-on-one coaching and to run my own business here and with the shows and everything that Matt and I are doing. So this is our stuff, guys. Rockstar Prospecting. We're going to blend high tech and high touch for a month long courses, guys, and we're going to get together in a group format. It's going to be interactive video, so you'll ask us questions, we'll talk with you. You raise your hand. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's kind of like this, but you guys can actually talk back with us instead of just typing to us. And we're going to cover everything, guys. I mean, just a ridiculous amount of stuff. We're going to have a 60-day challenge in there to put it all together. We're going to have an organization that's going to give you, at no cost, except for the cost for the course, no additional cost, we're going to give you one appointment for free. And then it will be, they're working on some potential discounts for you guys if you decide to take on their system and go from there. So, guys, go take a look. I'm going to put the link in right now. Matt, if you want to go over logistics, I'll drop this in.
Yeah. So, guys, it's every Monday, starting Monday the 9th of January. We start at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. So the sessions run for an hour. And then there's 5 Mondays in January. So it's essentially starting that second Monday of the month and running every Monday throughout the entire month of January, every week throughout that entire month. And we're covering like how to use online marketing to make every conversation easier, how to use old school prospecting to reach your perfect client, and then specific lead generation formulas that blend those two things together into packages, and how to hit the ground running. So like Greg said, a couple of challenges, but the real key here is to be able to just be more of yourself, and to be more of yourself on social media, and then to blend that with the right old school prospecting, how to get on the phone and belly to belly with people in a way that the online marketing that you're doing has already set you up so that the in-person and over the phone conversations that you're having are easier. So this is not just where we're going to teach you, hey, do all of this stuff and then do all of this stuff and then somehow magically it all just works. Like, this is about blending it in specific ways so that it makes the conversations that you have with potential clients easier. You're already positioned as the expert. You're already positioned as someone that knows what they're doing and a true professional advisor to them. Your market expertise is already presented. So they're coming to you and they're meeting you in the right context, right? Context is everything. The context under which you meet someone is everything. And so we want to help you make those conversations easier. That's what the course is about. And so the whole course outline is there underneath, so you can check out what each session we're going to cover. And every session is recorded, so if at any time you miss a session or there's some technology glitch and you can't join us live, whatever the case is, you'll get access to the recording that same day. You'll have lifetime access to the recordings. We're actually going to make it like a Google Drive, so you'll have lifetime access to all future runs of this same course. So as we put more up-to-date information, you can just watch the latest videos that we recorded with future classes and get the latest content. So that's the way that's going to work, guys. It goes through, there's the main page where you pay, register, goes through PayPal. You can put in your credit card, you can pay through PayPal, whatever the case is, and then it sends you an email. You click that link in the email and it finishes things off, and then it pulls up a page where you click on that final thing to get details, and then it pulls up the thank you page with all the details on when exactly the classes are, so you can kind of bookmark it in your calendar, but we'll also invite you to the actual session on the calendar too. So you don't have to worry too much about that. All the details are on the page. If you have any questions, reach out to me. My email, it's matt@pursuingresults.com.
Matt, Carla has a question on the page here. Can she split it on to 2 different credit cards?
No, we don't have that capability right now. So you'd want to just move the balances over from one card to another and then go through that payment. So, I mean, we're rolling this out. This is the first time we're going through this. So the payment system is not sophisticated. It's PayPal, like we're not able to do stuff like that. So anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, hey, we love you. We absolutely love you. That's why we're doing this. And I'm super excited for you guys to start taking advantage of. I can't wait to get to meet you guys. A lot of you folks that are booked out for a year and 3 or 4 months for the McDaniel Challenge. This is an opportunity. It's a few bucks, but it's also an opportunity to get a free appointment set for you and learn what to do for 2017 to rock it out and just make it just a killer new year. That's why we wanted to offer, guys. We just want to see you guys succeed as much as humanly possible.
Yeah. Speaking of Carla, just to answer that question in a better way, I just thought of a way that we can pull it off. So I will shoot me an email. So Carla, email me, matt@pursuingresults.com. Send me your email, and we'll send you like 2 different invoices that you can pay, so you can split it up. We'll figure it out, but I think that's the best way to do it. Aaron Wittenstein is joining us live. Goodness. All right. What is up, man?
Oh my lordy. That's
right. The big kahuna. All right, guys. So, Greg, anything else that you'd like to put in? Any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah. Wasn't ready with my shout outs, but a lot of stuff like talking to Mike Holbrook, Sarah, Mike, Sarah, Mila, Amy, chatting with all of you guys. And we have Jason, Heather, Matt, Aaron, Phil, Brian, Chris, Christopher, Midori, Beverly, William, and Darren. I've been having conversations with all of you guys. Super awesome to talk with you guys. And then, of course, tonight I get to hang out with the one and the only Ismail. He and I have been chatting back and forth. We are doing the McDaniel Challenge with him tonight. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So, guys, keep reaching out to me if I can answer a question, if I can do something to help you. Since we're not doing the McDaniel Challenge, please PM me on Facebook. Also, follow me on Facebook, guys. Follow me on Instagram and Snapchat, and you guys can go from there. And we'll have some fun together.
Yeah, same for me. So friend me on Facebook or follow me on Instagram, Pursuing Results on both platforms. So until then, make sure to subscribe to the show. We appreciate you sharing it with a friend in the business. You can tell them about it and share our YouTube page. You can share it on iTunes or Stitcher. You can subscribe there if you prefer the audio versions. That way you can learn and burn at the gym, or you can listen to us in the car, or like Greg does on the way to Trader Joe's to get some nonsense thing that he's going to stuff in his mouth in between live podcasts and training sessions. But
organic carrot juice, pal. Yeah, it's not nonsense.
Yeah, well, that's half the time I see you're munching down like a giant thing of like sunflower seeds, like you're a squirrel.
It's not sunflower seeds.
Almond? Trail? Is it just random trail mix? All right. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We've got a great episode coming up on Friday. So stay tuned for that. Let's see. Who is our guest? We have no guest. It's just us because it's a couple of days before Christmas. Twas 2 days before Christmas, and all through the house it's just Greg and Matt. Not even.
Yeah, just talking and no one's listening. We're like, hello.
That's right.
I guess no one's.
We're going to be in the echo chamber on Friday.
If you guys have a guest that you think we should interview and they're willing to come on, and you think they have good content, reach out to Matt at pursuingresults.com and see if we can get someone out there. Or if you think that you can bring massive value, reach out, guys. All of you guys are all awesome human beings. Let's see if we can get you out there. Until then, all right, you guys, we love you to pieces. We will see you on the next.